Well, thanks so much for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Let's get right to the latest on the wildfire burning in western Washington County, starting with a closer look at the areas under evacuation right now. The community of Cherry Grove, home to about 500 people, and areas to the north and west are under level 3 go now evacuation orders. The part of the map in green, including the northwest part of Hagg Lake, is under a level 1 be ready notice.
We have live team coverage tonight. Chief Meteorologist Mazzafino tracking the weather impact. John Adams with the story of those forced to flee their homes. But first to Alma McCarty at the command post in Gaston. Alma, what is the very latest?
Yeah, David, Christine, the very latest at this point. Well, since 11 o'clock this morning, the smoke out here, along with the evacuation zones, have only grown. Like you said, I'm in Gaston. That's about 6 miles away from Cherry Grove, and you can really feel the smoke in the air here. There are several deputies here behind me who are wearing masks to deal with it. Now, at 6:30 this evening, there was an evacuation notice, a level 3 go now, and we were there at the time and left with several others as ash was falling from the sky.
And their first objective was to try and get around and get control while also having firefighters protect homes and structures.
Thursday morning, a brush fire, cause still unknown, started and spread, reaching 100 acres in western Washington County.
So they were making good progress. They were really feeling good about it. As happens sometimes in the afternoon, you had a wind shift.
That shift clearly visible in the community of Cherry Grove, home to about 500 people, smoke building and filling the air. Here's Stephen Myers with the fire information team.
So it started getting into those treetops, and that's when it spotted across the Tualatin River. And you had a spot of about 20 to 30 acres that's probably grown since then.
As the afternoon progressed, more crews joined the effort as residents left town.
A lot of times in these fires, you're not looking at flame fronts per se that are threatening homes or threatening growth of the fire. You're looking at embers that find receptive fuels, find a place to then ignite, and that's what grows fires quickly.
Hagg Lake was closed much of the day so firefighting planes could load up with water. As of 9:30 p.m., fire crews estimate the fire to be at least 200 acres with 0% containment. Overnight, Myers said the firefighters hoped for a chance to make progress on the Leaf Falls fire.
At night is an opportunity for firefighters. As humidity starts to come back in and the temperatures start to go down, that can be an opportunity.
Now, a couple of hours ago, some of the firefighting teams switched out so there would be crews working on this thing overnight. Myers also told me that they are doing something called point protection in Cherry Grove. That is where there are specific teams of firefighters that go to specific houses in order to defend those structures from the encroaching fire. David, Christine, back to you.
Important, dangerous work those firefighters are out there doing. Thank you so much, Alma. Let's bring in John Adams now, who's been talking to people who were forced to leave their homes and belongings behind. John, what a scary situation out there.
Well, Christine, a very scary situation because folks don't know when they are going to be returning home or what they're going to find when they return. So we are right outside the Gaston fire station right now, but just beyond the fire station is a park and a baseball field where people have set up campers and tents to spend the night. Now, this is video from earlier today of people fleeing the fire. You can see vehicles pulling trailers full of livestock, some of which ended up at the livestock evacuation point. That's at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Hillsboro. But some ended up at the park near the Gaston fire station. That's where we spoke with a woman named Shauna who lives near where the fire is burning. She told us she left around 3 this afternoon with 2 other people in her household, along with her 4 dogs and 2 cats. Now their plan is to stay the night at the baseball field in a pop-up camper and wait to hear updated information tomorrow. Shauna described the chaotic scene as they scrambled to evacuate.
When we left, I could see the flames above the trees, the ashes were coming down. My skin was super hot, it was hard to breathe. We were just trying to gather up all of the animals that we could, as I'm sure people can hear them all over. Get them in the cars, load it up, and just take off with what we had.
Unbelievable to hear her describe what it was like to leave that fire. Well, Shauna's family is going to be staying right next to their neighbors tonight, and she told us it's really a tight-knit community here. People have known each other for a long time, and they've all come together to help out in their time of need today. Christine and David, back to you.
It's incredible how that happens in a crisis. Thank you, John. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, it is cooling down, albeit slowly. That is good news. What about the wind?
The winds are dying off too. It has not been a super windy afternoon. I mean, as we heard from the firefighters, the winds picked up a little bit around the fire in the afternoon, but not as bad as it could be. And now that we've gone into several hours after sunset, the winds are pretty much calm all over the place. Forest Grove calm, still picking up a west wind out in the Hillsborough Airport, but around the fire south of Forest Grove, there's Hag Lake right there. The winds are actually pretty good, and they should stay that way overnight tonight. We're not expecting the winds to pick up until tomorrow afternoon at the soonest. Temperatures dropping into the mid 70s, so it's still a warm night out there, but the temperatures will drop. The humidity will come up as it does at night as the temperature goes down. We call that humidity recovery, and it should be pretty good out towards the lake there during the overnight hours. So that'll help the firefighting situation quite a bit. Now, you can see the clouds offshore beginning to roll in. There is westerly winds aloft that are beginning to increase a bit. That's going to help to disperse the smoke and also cool us off a bit more. But the winds may come up a little bit more Saturday compared to tomorrow. You can see the smoke out there. So the forecast, warm overnight, light winds though for the fire weather situation. Good news is no new storms and that gradual cool down Friday and through the weekend. Guys?
Yeah, no new storms and light winds. Sounds good for now. Thank you, Matt. We will continue to follow the latest evacuations and fire updates throughout the night. We'll keep you updated on KGW.com and live again on air starting at 4:30 a.m.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, deputies in East Multnomah County have arrested a man they say was involved in a stabbing this morning in Wood Village. A witness telling KGW that it all started when someone asked him for drugs and then punched him in the face. The witness says his brother retaliated and stabbed the other man in the neck.
My brother seen this. He came over and he was trying to protect me.
The victim was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. 56-year-old Michael Romine faces charges that include second-degree attempted murder.
Right now, Oregon is dealing with the largest measles outbreak since 2019. Today, the Oregon Health Authority met to talk about how to control the spread. At least 25 people in Marion, Clackamas, and Multnomah counties have contracted it over the last couple months. Health experts say vaccinations are key to preventing measles, but nearly 9% of kindergartners aren't vaccinated in Oregon. OHA is hosting free clinics. The next one is at the Gladstone Health Center in Clackamas County from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow.
And thousands more e-scooters are coming to the Rose City. Peabody is partnering with Lyft and Lime. Some of the new scooters will have seats, making them more accessible to riders who don't want to stand. Peabody first piloted e-scooters back in 2018.